John A. Macdonald was spotted red-handed earlier this week. It was done by either a political artist or a vandal, depending on who you ask. It's not the first time this statue has been targeted. Earlier this year, he was spray-painted head to toe, and before that, he was covered in police tape. While some people choose to celebrate the first Prime Minister, local historians say it's understandable why statues in his namesake are offensive. Macdonald has long been criticized for how he treated Indigenous people and the role he played in the imposition of residential schools and the pass system. Regina's statue is the only Macdonald statue remaining in a major Western Canadian city. Victoria had a similar statue on the front steps of its city hall, but after a lengthy debate, council voted to remove the statue in a gesture toward reconciliation. I spoke with David Garneau. He's a Métis artist and a professor at the University of Regina. He says that the statue should be taken down and put in a museum.
We have a lot of difficulty giving things up. So if they want to replace it with something more appropriate to the times, that would be fine too. I would love to see a statue of Louis Riel by a local artist, like Joe Fafard, would be much more interesting and certainly more of an attraction because it's about this place. It has meaning here, whereas the John A. only has negative meanings.
Ward 3 councillor Andrew Stevens says this was a political statement, but it did not come as a surprise. He says it's a reminder that the community needs to talk about Macdonald's legacy with colonialism and reconciliation in mind.
I think councillors need to have a discussion about what do we do about that statue. We've seen hundreds of people support calls to remove it and place it in a museum with a more historically accurate plaque. That needs to be taken seriously. So I think we need to stop dancing around this and figure out what do we do with this statue, and is it better to recognize them in a more wholesome way in a museum, and should that also involve in removing them from this park?
Stevens is calling on Regina residents to demand political action. Mayor Michael Fougere says the city won't consider removing it until a formal request is submitted. Kendall Latimer, CBC News, Regina.